Sometimes you're not recording.
I'm recording now. I've not really said much. So I'm saying that forms are basically used to collect information from websites. So people can use a form to collect contact information, or you can use form to collect application information. Like before you applied for this program, if you go to the UCM to apply, uh, there's a form there where you ask your name, whatever you put all those are forms. Those are forms, right? So I was saying that in this class, we are going to look at how to build a form. How to build a form. And basically, we are saying that to build a form, you need to what? Use the form tag, the opening and closing of a form tag. This is the same thing we have been talking about from the beginning of HTML. We have been learning tags, and tags have opening and closing. The difference between the opening tag of a element and the closing is this slash. And every tag has a purpose. We have learned P tag, we have learned H tag. Today we are learning the form tag, which is a tag used to create forms. So you start with a form opening and closing. And now for every information input that you want to receive from the user, you will have a what? An input what? Tag for it. So in the input tag, you have a type. So the type will tell you what type of information you want to take. The type can be email, the type can be text, the type can be number, and what have you. I'll demonstrate this for you to understand. But this code that you see here, when you execute it in your file or your website page, this is what you will see.
Please, I can't see your screen. It's blank.
You have to go out and come back again. Okay. It's coming from our end.
Okay, it has come.
That's your side.
Yeah, it has come, sir.
Good. So I'm saying that this screenshot here, you see this screenshot, this is the code that launches it. So now this whole session today, we are just going to learn about the tags, the various inputs. If I want to take email, what type of input would I use? If I want to take a phone number from somebody, what type of input should I use? If I want to take their full name, what type of input should I use? Input tag should I use? So that's what we are going to learn today. So at this juncture, I'm sure everybody know what a form is, and we know that to begin building a form, you need to start with the opening form tag. The rest of these slides, which I'll be sharing with you, is basically going to give you in-depth understanding on what forms. So I'm going to minimize the slide and then we start coding as usual. After that, you can read the slide in detail and then build your own different types of what forms based on the knowledge you receive today. So here up, I'm opening my VS Code. Right. So this is my code. My index. Pardon? So now you see this code. Yeah, last week you see that we built a table. So my table code is here. Today we are going to build a contact form as a way of practicalizing what we learned. So the appropriate page where the contact form should be is my contact page. So I'll navigate to my contact page here, contact.htm. I'll navigate there. First of all, let me open the link and see how my website looks like. So this is how my contact page looks like. So I want to have the form right below here, right below here. So now, means I'll continue my code from here. This is a list. After the list, I want to build my form. So I'll press enter and I'll start with a form tag like this. Now in the form tag, I'm now going to specify the information I want to collect. So first of all, I want the person to enter their full name, their email, and their message. You see that?
So it will not be in list form.
It's not a list. We are building a form.
Okay, okay.
So now you see full name, email, message, right? But there's no place for me to enter the information. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Good. So now to create places to enter the information, we need to use what? Input tag. So input, you say input, then type is equals to. So this type, if the information you are taking is just a general text, like a name, then the type would be what? Text. Then input, when I come to the email on, I'll say input. But for email, my input type will not be text. It will rather be what? Email, because the information I want to take must be a valid email. So in place of the text, the type, no, you put email here. So you put email. Now, when it comes to the message, I can use an input, but my type will also be what? Text, because it is a general text. So now let's come back to our website and see what that will give us. Have you seen boxes for full name, email, and message?
Okay, okay.
We can see it.
Now I will need a button that will submit their information. You know, when the user enters their information and finish, if they want to submit the information, I will need a button here. So to bring that button, you come down and you say input. The type now will be what? Submit. You see how the input, I'm using input, but the type is changing based on what purpose? Because now I want a submit button. So I'll change the type to submit. And when I do that, they will give me what? A button here. But you see the information on the button is what? Submit query. That's the default information. You can change that information by saying value submit. See? And now it has turned to submit. Or I can even change that information here to what? Send message. And that will label the button here to what? Send message. You see? So you can see that these boxes look exactly the same. Aside the input tag, we also have a tag called text area. Let me show you something from this. You see that this particular box here is bigger. The box for the message for this one is bigger than these ones. It's bigger than these ones.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. If you use input tag, the box you get will be smaller. But if you want a bigger box, you use a text area. A text area with columns and rows. A text area with what? Columns and rows. So you have text area, the columns and rows will determine how big it will be. But just look at it from you see this box here, the text area box is bigger than the input tag box. If you want a big box, you use a text area.
But
Right?
this box doesn't look nice, Mr. Buddha.
You say?
The box doesn't look nice.
The box doesn't look nice. Oh, yes.
Box.
Oh, yes. It's not looking nice like this one.
Like the UDS one, yes.
Yeah. Why is it that way? Anybody have an idea?
We use box model to model.
Exactly. You use CSS. It is CSS they use to make it now look beautiful like this. If you learn CSS
yeah.
properly,
Yes,
if you learn
now, yes,
CSS properly, you can expand the size, you can color it, you can change the font type, like how the writing. You can do a lot with the form. But now we are just writing raw HTML. We are writing raw HTML. It's just like you are building a house and then you put the frame and those things. We have not painted, we have not done a lot of fancy things. So just take it like that. Vanessa. Yeah, so what I want you to understand basically is that we have an input tag and we also have a text area tag. Okay, each of them are different. The text area gives you a bigger box, but the input gives you a smaller box. That is the what do you call the fundamental thing I want you to understand. Right? So with this, we have built a basic form that somebody can enter his information. So full name I can enter Mudassir Isa. Email I can enter my email. Huda at org. You see, message I can put my message. I want you to confirm my results for me. Let's say that's my message. But you see that because the box is small, some of the writing is hidden. Let me copy this same information and come and paste it here. See that the information is visible because this box is bigger. So usually by standard practice, for message area, you don't use input field, you use a text area field to handle this one. So because of that, I will delete the input field for the message.
Hello.
If the text area, so that it will be like this. Yeah. Now, everything is just on one line. We don't want it to be that way. So I need the email to come down here and the message to also come down here. To do that, I can just do something simple. I can introduce a break tag here. A break tag at the end of each this thing. You see that the break tag basically breaks any element that is in front to the next line. Pushes any element that is in front to display in the next line, like you are seeing here. Even for this message button, when I come to the text area and I put a break tag, we push the button to the next line. So we have built a form, my people. This is the basic building blocks of forms. So let's say aside email, we want the person to enter their phone number. So I can come here and say phone number, and then I'll say input. But this time around, the type will be what? Number. And you see, I can enter the phone number here. I'll put a break tag here to push the message box to the next line. So full name, email, phone number, and then what? Message, and then send. Now, let me show you the one of the reasons why it's good to use the type of email for the. So you see this input type email. If I put anything here, that is not a valid email. I can't submit the form. It will tell me that, see, if I click send message, it will tell me that please enter an email address because Muda is not a valid email address. Every valid email address must have at and must have a what? A .com. So if you make the type appropriate, HTML will be able to automatically check whether the information entered is actually what you were expecting. As for text, it will have accepted, but we want the person to enter an email. So we make sure that we make the type here to be email so that if the person doesn't enter an email, they will tell the person to enter an email, valid what? Email. Okay. So at this juncture, that is forms for you. There are quite a lot of things about forms that you have to learn, but it is very important that you grasp this building block. Other related things. So now you're not submitting, if you're not submitting it anywhere. When you submit, that's all. It's not going anywhere. But you can add certain code that will go and save, or that will save that information for you in the back end. Like how when you go and apply for admissions, when we check at the back end, we see whatever you submitted. Currently, this form doesn't send information anywhere. It's just on the website. Yeah. So if you learn something like JavaScript, you can collect information and save it maybe to an email address or something when somebody submits the form. Or you can save it in a database so that you can check it later, what people have submitted.
JavaScript.
This is the basic building blocks. What? Forms. Any question?
We're trying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's there with practice. There with practice. So as usual, just like we did for the tables, practice forms, create a new form. Maybe you can try doing a form not for contact us, but a form that somebody will use to submit something else, right? There are some examples in the slides you can use. There are several input fields which you can explore. In fact, you can have a form whereby your form can have maybe gender. We can ask the person gender, and we use the select tag, okay, to ask whether it's male or female. We have several ways tags to collect data. Aside the input tag, we have a select tag. And with the select tag, that's just what I'm doing. With the select tag, you can give various options and the person will choose. It's all in the slide. Each option, you display it with the option tag. And yeah. See? It will now be a drop down of questions that the user can select from. It's here, it's in the slide. Select tag. So you can also try your hands on the select tag, or you can use radio button, whereby you ask what is your favorite color or favorite browser, and the person will tick between the options. Or you can use an input type of password, so that whatever the person is typing, the person will not be able to see it. It will be asterisks. I hope you sometimes when you are logging into your company's software or something, you realize that the password side is always not made visible for you.
Yes.
So basically what they are doing is that the input type, they change it to what? Password. For example, if I change the type for the full name one here, if I change the type to password, if I start typing, it will be hidden. So it's the input type that will tell how it will behave. You get it? So next time, if you are you want to log into your company software and at the password area is hidden, just know that it's an input tag, but the type that the developers put there is password. That's why the browser is hiding it for you. You just
Wow.
change
Okay.
something here. You just change it. The type there, they will change it to password, and that's all. That's what is happening. Not anything complex. Yeah, it's not like they have done some plenty things to hide it. No. They use an input tag, but they change the type to password. And whenever you enter email somewhere, and then you didn't enter the email correctly, and you are trying to submit, and they tell you that enter a valid email, it means that that place, they are putting a type of what? Email. And the browser is making sure that you are actually entering a valid email there.
Okay.
And then if you enter something somewhere, maybe a text, and they tell you that enter a number, it means the type they are using there is number. So they are expecting you to enter, the browser is expecting you to enter a number, only number, not text.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are the purposes for this type that you see. The type we normally attach to the input field. That is the purpose.
I think this thing I've been experiencing it, Mr. Buddha.
Okay. Yes.
One. I remember my password. I have a password issue to one app, one software. It got locked. I tried several. I couldn't. So they resolved. And when it came back, I tried doing. When I created a new password, it still troubles. It still troubles me.
So
it's an invalid password. Those things.
Yeah, they are making checks to ensure that what you enter is valid. Yeah.
Gouda.
Yes, Aduna.
So after full name, you have to put the semicolon, right?
Yeah, you have to put it.
Yeah.
Then you type input.
Yeah.
Oh, then you bring this the tag also. Okay.
Yeah.
No, if you just do the semicolon, you just put in. If you just type IM, the input will come and you click. It will give you this thing. The this thing tag, the tag will come. It will not require you to press the this thing.
Okay, I'm not seeing that too. After the semicolon, I can, if I try typing input, it doesn't preload.
No, first of all, you do form.
Yeah, I've done form, full name, email, phone number, message.
Does your form have a closing tag? And is the input also within it? You have to confirm all those
You have
things.
to confirm all those things.
Form that it has open and closing tag.
Okay, and then check your spelling. And then check whether you are not missing these brackets that are usually ending it.
Okay.
For example, if my bracket is missing, when I start type, you will even be seeing red things.
I have only one bracket.
So you have to close. You need another one. There are two.
Oh
This
yes, I have
one
that.
is-
I have that. The opening and the closing. I have the
Uh-huh.
opening and the closing.
So the next line,
Is full name.
uh-huh.
So I'll put the semicolon, right?
Yes,
Then try put a space and try typing input.
yes.
And that's what I'm doing.
And you say you are not seeing input. Are you seeing anything displayed in red? Hmm?
So I've got it now. I was trying to write input type full.
No,
Do not.
don't write it full. Let the software write it for you.
Mr. Muda,
Hmm.
at what time did we do the
Sorry, come again.
at the text area under the message?
Hmm.
It's like oh,
Sorry, I didn't hear you clearly.
I said
Ah,
I'm lost. I don't know what time did we did the. There is something that is confusing me here, so I'm just asking. Under the text area,
yes.
there is a ID after the ID codes, which is 30 and row 10. I don't know what time we do. Or
And
you did
so,
it.
yeah, this is how to do it. You watch my screen.
Okay.
I've canceled it. Text
Okay.
area. When you start
Yeah.
typing text area, you will see the options. There are three options or four options.
Okay.
The suggestion, there are four suggestions. You use the third one. The third one will fill that information for you automatically. The columns, the rules, the
oh,
ID, everything.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Thank you, Salam. Burger. Oh,
Alhaji muda. Hello. Hello. Nazir.
Oh,
Hey,
Aro.
where muda lang kalam.
Obiara.
It's done.
Bukila sa text area ne o kanan ba. ID.
Yeah,
Text.
you want to ask a question?
Yeah, the text area name.
You can leave it
ID.
blank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for now we are not using them. They have meanings too, but we are not using them, so
Oh,
we can
okay.
leave it blank.
How about the last one? Input type, submit value.
And that one you need to do it as it is on the code. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead. With you.
What about like if you want to do
That's
search button? Of course, like if you want to do in the phone.
you said Adam. I'll send my document to you. Details the person share. I think the transfer. Guys, please, do you have any further questions? If not, I'll stop the recording so that we can have a very short recording size. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can. We can hear you.
I want to stop the recording. If not, it will be huge, and then there will be long
okay.
silence.
No problem.
All right, sir. That's fine.
So
Thank
the
you.
recording is just focused on the tutorial.